This is what we're going for. In this video, I'm going to take you step by step and show you exactly everything I do and just how I make the zipper pouches. All of my pouches are fully lined, but not only that, in between the outer layer and the lining, there is a layer of soft cotton batting. Now, batting is that material that is used in quilts that makes them feel so soft and cozy. Well, my pouches are soft and cozy, but not only that, the batting helps the pouch to keep its shape, and I believe it makes it look just a little bit more expensive too. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a pattern. We're going to make a pattern that's 7 inches by 9 inches, and we're going to get started, and I'm going to show you exactly everything I do to make my pouches. We want our pattern to be 9 by 7, and we're going to cut it out. And you want to use paper. In the sewing room, you want to use paper scissors for paper. You never want to use your fabric scissors on paper. The biggest way to get into an argument or to not be friends anymore with someone who sews is to use their fabric scissors to cut paper. Okay, so now we have our pattern, and so we're going to remind us, this here is a 9 by 7. So that's 9 by 7 inches. Now, the next thing we want is to get some fabric, and that's going to be up to you. Whatever you have around your house. I have some of this stuff, so I might use this today to make the pouch. I have some of this, and maybe I'll just do that and put a pink inside. So any fabric you have, as long as this at least 9 by 7, you can make your product, your pouch out of it. So this is pretty wrinkly, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to use this fabric. But before we get started, we really want to iron this. Let me tell you, your iron is your best friend. I believe it's the best friend in your sewing room. There are lots of good friends, but I think the best friend, and the one that you can't live without, and the one that's going to make you look good, is your iron. So I'm going to, this is really wrinkled. So I'm going to cut this a little bit so that it's, okay, so I'm just going to, so I'm just gonna, I'll cut it down evenly. Right now I'm just gonna cut around this so that I can get this ironed. And I'm gonna go ahead and do another one because I need 2 of each fabric. So this is not the final cut. I'm just cutting so that I'm making it large enough so that I can have some to follow the pattern, but I want to be able to control it and iron it. So I'm going to cut out that right there. Okay, so I have, this is the fabric I'm going to use probably for the lining. And now I'm going to do the same with this fabric right here. And I can go ahead and, how do I want to do this? I'm going to go ahead and fold it so that I can, but I want to fold it so that I don't waste a good portion of it. Okay, so I'm going to put this right here. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to take this little pattern and I'm going to put it there. I'm going to get my fabric scissors and, okay, I'm going to go ahead and, okay, the selvage, we want to make it so we can cut that off. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this. I'm not cutting out the actual pattern right now. I'm just cutting so that I can iron the fabric so that I can cut the actual pattern. And so we are going to go ahead and cut down this line right here, and that way we will have 2 pieces. Okay, so while we're at it, let's go ahead and get our batting. Now the batting is fabric that comes in a, looks This right here says warm and natural needled cotton batting. And so it says the perfect soft warm bedding for quilts, crafts, and washable arts. So that's what we're going to be using. Now I have some that is already out of a bag. I thought I did. I was going to use that since it was already out, but I don't see it. So I'm going to have to go in here and get cut some batting from here. Okay, I don't have any. Let me see if I see any pieces that look like they're about. Okay, I might have to take this whole thing out, which is what I was trying to avoid. But hey, gotta do what you gotta do. So with this batting here, there is no rhyme or reason. I've been cutting off of it different pieces. So now for the batting, you're going to need two pieces that are 9 by 7. So again, we're not really cutting the pattern out so much as we're just cutting pieces so that we can get them ironed and prepare them to use this pattern to cut them out the size that we want them to be. So we're going to go ahead and cut this. Okay. All right. Now, going to put the batting away until next time. Okay. Now we have something we can work with. Now this is my little knitted ironing board that I don't even know where I got it, but it's just a little portable ironing board. It's like about thick like that, and it's 100% wool, and it was advertised as a little board. Okay, it looks like this. It was advertised as a little board that would help take the wrinkles out fast because it's all 100% wool. Okay, so this is what I'm going to use, but if you have an ironing board or whatever your ironing pad is, you want to take your fabric and let's see, I think my iron should be hot enough. A little while ago, well, a few years ago now, I got a cordless iron and I have never looked back. So if you're going to be doing crafts a lot, a cordless iron, as you see, it's so easy to use. So you want to iron your pieces really well. Like I said, your iron is going to be your best friend. It can be the difference between something that looks homemade and something that looks professional. The difference is the ironing. Okay, so now we've done that. Done the one piece. Let's go ahead and just put this over there like this. And we're going to iron. So you want to iron so that it's nice and smooth and just you're starting with some good, good foundation. And so let me move this one out of the way. Okay, there's one done. And now, okay. And there's also, I have this spray that you spray on fabric to help make the creases go away. I remember when I was a child, my mother used to iron and had the sprinkle bottle, and there were these little tops that you could buy to put on soda bottles, and you use that, put water in that, and then you sprinkled it on your fabric, and then she'd roll it up so that the water would kind of seep through, and then she would undo it, and when she would press it, it would be beautiful. Today we don't press a lot. Nobody really buys things that you need to iron, and nobody's really into ironing. I don't think. Maybe. I don't know anybody who's really into that. Let me see if I can. There's a little crease there. Let me see if I put some water on that. Yeah. So I don't know anybody that really irons anymore. And a lot of times I know I've heard people say they wanted to buy a certain piece of clothing, but then when they found out they would have to iron it, all of a sudden they didn't want it anymore. Let me get this one because there's a crease in here, and I want to spray the water on it and get the crease out of it. So Okay. So, all right. And now I just want to go back to this one and see the creases in there. I want to get that out. Okay. All right, and now I have one more piece to iron, and then we're going to cut it out using our pattern. So I just cut these down so that they would be more manageable for ironing. And now that I have ironed them, we're going to use our pattern. I don't even know where my pattern is. Whoa, where did it go so fast? I don't even know what happened to my pattern. Okay, so, all right. Okay, that looks nice. All right, so now I'm going to find my pattern. Here we are. And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to put these layers together. Put that like that. And put this one on like that. There's a spot. Well, that means that's where a rhinestone. I'm going to put a rhinestone there. Then that just means eventually there's going to be a rhinestone there. Now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pattern and I'm going to go ahead and pin this fabric to the pattern so that when I cut it out, they'll all be matching. Just want to make sure that there's not going to be any edges that are missed. We want everything to kind of make sure the pattern covers everything. And so then we're just going to go, I'm going to pin and just going to go to each corner and pin. Pin and pin all the layers. Make sure you have all the layers. Okay, all the layers in there. All right, and so to be more precise, we're going to go put a pin in between the pins. And that way, so, and put a pin here. And now, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to cut our pattern out. There you have it. I'm going to cut it out. So I'm just going to hug this line, hug the paper as much as possible. I don't have to worry about, making a space for the seam. I allowed that when we did the measuring. So we're going to go ahead and okay. Ta-da! Okay, we have the fabric. We have our fabric for a pouch. Now we want to go back. We're going to undo this, because we want to go back now and get the batting. I want the iron just warm a little bit for the batting. We're going to go over here. All right, now we have, what do we have? We have the 2 layers, which are our outside, and we have 2 layers, which are going to be the insides. We're going to put that aside for now. And we're going to bring the batting. So we have 2 layers of the batting. And we just want to straighten it out a little bit. Although this is going to be inside, but it's going to be nicer to work with, easier to work with if we just kind of straighten it out just a little bit. So we just want to take a warm iron and just get it to be a little straight, a little flat, a little nice. Okay, and now let's see, put this down. Okay, great. So we got these kind of pressed just enough so that they look nice and they're easy to work with. They're going to be easy to work with. Okay, so now we're going to cut these out. We want these to be the same size. They're going to go in between the outer and inner. So we're going to go ahead and pin this again, making sure that you're going to catch all, that there's nothing that's going to be, I don't feel good about that one. Yeah, you don't want any edges that are not going to be caught in when you start cutting. So there you go. There you go. There you go. And there you go. Okay. All right. And if you want to put more pins in, to like if you want to put more pins in, it's only gonna make your cutting even that much more precise. Okay, so now we're ready to cut the batting. Again, we're just gonna hug the lines or hug the edges of the paper. Hug the edges of our pattern, and okay. Okay, we are so good to go. All right, so we're going to take the pins out of the batting material. Now, from the fun part, the fun begins. Okay, so now you have 2 batting layers. Now, choose the fabric that you're going to use for your outer layer. Okay, I'm going to use this pink as the inside of my pouch. That's going to be my inside. So I'm going to put that aside. Put your inside, and what you're going to do is you're going to take your 2 outside layers and you're going to match them up. You want each of your outside layers to have their own little batting layer, and you're going to try to make sure they're together there. And then we're going to do the same. Each outside we're going to put with a batting. And we're going to treat, from now on, we're going to treat this batting and this outer layer as one. Okay, so we're going to actually just go ahead and just kind of fuse them together a little bit. Not really fusing, but just kind of get them to, let them get the idea that they are now one. They have married. The outer layer and the batting are married. So here you go. So we're just, okay, these act as one. All right, now let me put these aside. Let me put the because it's time for us to choose a zipper. Now, I don't know if you can see, this is a giant bag, and this whole bag is full of different zippers. Well, one type of zipper that I have are these. I really love these. I get these from somebody on who did I get these from? I got these from My Handmade Space, myhandmadespace.com, and they do zippers that come where you can cut the zipper to the desired length that you want. I love the gold. I love them both, the gold and silver. You can cut them the length that you want them to be, and then they sell different little pulls, and so you can decide what kind of pull you want to put on your zipper. I have some gold ones. Let's see. All right, so I do have some gold pulls in there, and these are silver, and I love these zippers. Now, I love them, and I love how they look in a project. Let me see if I have something that has the gold in it. Oh, I don't see anything right now, so let's keep going. Oh, here's one. So here is a project with the gold zipper. So here's a project I did that's using this gold right here. And it just looks really rich. But I'm not going to use that today. I will come back and do a tutorial. I know I'm always saying I'm coming back. And then it seems like it takes me forever to come back, right? But so that's how that looks. But I'm just showing you what the possibilities are. I think to get started, and so you can get used to how everything goes, because these zippers right here, even though they're great, you know what can cause anxiety, trying to get the pull on the zipper. But once you get it on there, it's really very beautiful. And so this is one of their pulls, and this is a pouch. But I love these zippers. But also in the bag are zippers that I have just picked up from through my journeys through the garment district in New York. A zipper here, a zipper there. So this project is kind of pinkish, a neutral, even a blue. See, I would use something like this, even though this is this color, but I like that contrasty thing happening. So I'm really thinking, you know, a more normal thing would be to use like a kind of a pink or a neutral color. Let me just see. I don't know. We'll put this one aside. There's the blue. But you get to choose, or even a purple, even though it doesn't go with anything. It's just, I like that. I like when you just, you know, but this is what I guess would be. But that one right there is a little bit too short, because the idea is you want to get your zipper that's longer than this piece. So if this is 10 inches, we want, what did we do with it? Is this 9 inches? So if this is 10 inches, what did we make our pattern? We made it 9 by 7. So if this is 9 inches, then we want a zipper that's at least 11 or 12 inches. We want our zipper to really come out at least a couple of inches on each end, at least 1 inch. Now it can fit perfectly. You can get a zipper that fits perfectly, but is very it's just really to me time consuming to make sure that it really fits, when you can just get a zipper, make sure it's straight, and then if it's a nylon zipper, which we're going to be using, so you're going to get a zipper. It can even be this long. I don't need to know if you can see what I'm doing. This zipper right here is just really super long, and it could even be this long. As long as it's not too short, it can be. Let me move my bag out of the way. So this is okay. So this is, we're going to put our zipper across on the long side. Now, so your zipper can be this long, but your zipper should not be this short. So however long the nylon zipper is, good. and it's going to make it easier for you to put it in the longer that it is. So get a zipper. Maybe I'll just go ahead and use this zipper. And this is a good nylon zipper. Make sure it works good. You don't want to put it in your project and then realize it's stuck. That one's a little sticky though. I mean, it's a little, let me see. This one's easier. Let me just see if there's, I got zippers and zippers and, okay, here's something that might work. This is a fat zipper. No, something a little more delicate. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and use this purple. I know it doesn't go, but it feels good. I like it. I'm going to use this purple for my pouch. So that's the fun you get to have, is that you get to choose what suits your fancy. And what suits your fancy may not be what is considered the norm. But we're breaking norms here. Okay, so we have, where are we? Okay, so we have our outsides, and we have the batting on the outsides, and we're treating the batting and the outside as one. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get our zipper. Once you have your zipper, now the fun begins. We're going to prepare our pouch for sewing. And we're going to do the layers. And what we're going to do basically is make a sandwich. So what we're going to do is take the fabric for one of the outer sides of our fabric, the outer fabric, which is attached to, or not attached, but we're working with it as if it is one, the outside layer and the batting. And we're going to lay that down. Then we're going to get our zipper. And remember, we want our zipper to be longer than our pouch. It can be 20 feet long, but as long as it's longer than the pouch. And we're going to take the zipper, lay it down, but we want to make sure that we face it down, meaning this end here that has the pull that we use to open and close the zipper, we want that down. So we want our fabric up, pretty side up. We have the batting underneath. This is acting as one. We're going to take our zipper and we're going to face it down. And down means the pull is facing down. So we're going to lay it like that. So we have so far this much. And then we're going to take our lining, and the lining fabric, we're going to lay it on top of the zipper. So what do we have? We have the bottom layer is the batting with the fabric, which is acting as one. We have the zipper, making sure the zipper and the pull is face down. And then we're going to take the lining fabric and we're going to face that down inside. Make sure the pretty sides are facing. So the pretty side of our outer fabric is facing up, and we're going to take the pretty side of our lining fabric and face those two pretty sides together. Now what we want to do is we want to edge up that top edge of that zipper with the top edge of the lining, with the top edge of the batting and fabric, which is acting as one. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to pin these together, all those edges together like that. Okay, so you're going to take your pen, if you're using pens, and you're going to go like that, and you're going to very carefully, and keep it kind of taut. We don't want it to be all gappy and everything, and we're going to go the whole length. Now, what I've been using lately is these fabric clips, and I just love them so. I think these were not more than $12. They weren't when I bought them on Amazon. And I got all these clips. And look, it comes in this little adorable little container. I just love it so. And so I'm going to use these clips there. If you're searching for them, they're called fabric clips or sewing clips. And look how many I got for less than I know I didn't pay $12 for these. They were less than $12 at the time. Maybe they're more now. And this cute little, I just love it. So I'm going to use these clips here to hold my zipper together with my, so we're going to edge all these things up. Don't let anything fall down. Keep the zipper up. Keep everything. And we're going to just pin it as best we can all together. And again, we don't want it too tight, but we don't want it too loose. We want it nice. Actually, we want it nice and even. We don't want any gaps in it. Nice and even. And just go across and put your pins or your clips, whatever you're using, and try to edge up or everything as best you can together. It may not be perfect, but we want it as perfect as we can get it. And so just go across. Again, if you're using pins, you would be just doing this with your pins, just going across here to get everything, keeping all the edges together, the lining, the zipper, the outer fabric, and the batting. We're just going across and keeping all those edges together. All right, so when you're done, it's going to have all the edges together, and this is what it looks like. You have your batting, you have your outer fabric facing in the sandwich, so the lining and the fabric are facing each other, outer fabric are facing each other, and of course your zipper has the pull down. And now we are ready to sew. So what are we going to sew? We're going to take our zipper foot and go to our machine, and we're going to sew down, just right down there. Okay, so that's what we're going to do right now. So you're going to get your zipper foot, and we're just going to sew right down this line right here. So here we go. So we're going to start here, and of course we're going to go backwards a little bit. And now we're going to go just down this right here. And we're going to take out the pins or the clips as we go. And we're just going to guide it down the edge. And I hear my phone ringing, but I think I'm busy. All right, so we're going to just go like this. And keep it as smooth as you can. And just go down there, sewing all these layers together. And there you go. And now we're coming up on the end. And we're just gonna go backwards a few to tack it in there. And then we're gonna go forward again. Okay. Alright, and now we're going to take this out of the machine. Alright. And so here is what we have. This is what the batting side looks like. And this is what the back side that has the lining fabric look like. Now we're ready to do the other side. We're going to take our other lining fabric, the piece that's left over. We're going to put the pretty side up, meaning this side is not the pretty side, the side with all the color, the side that we want to see. Want that side up. And we're going to take the piece we just sewed, and we're going to make sure it's folded back so that we see the zipper. You can see your pouch coming together because this is the top where the zipper is going to open and close here. So we're going to take these two, the lining side that's on the inside here. We're going to take this lining side and we are going to face it down together. We want both linings, the sides that we want to be the inside, the pretty sides that are going to be inside, we want them together facing each other. And so we're going to put that down, and we're going to put this on top of that layer, but we want to make sure that the zipper is at the edge of that lining. The zipper is at the edge. And then what we're going to do, just make sure everything is smooth. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take the outer layer that is attached to, or that travels with the batting, and we're going to take this fabric and we're going to place it face down. So these two fabrics are going to be together. So we have the lining fabrics facing each other, the zipper is at the edge, and we have these two outside fabrics now are facing each other, and we're going to put that now, and we want all these edges to come together at the top of the zipper. So what do we have? We have the second lining, the new lining that we're adding, and we have the zipper, and then we have the outer layer with the batting. And now this time we're going to line up all of these things together. So we're going to line these up with the zipper at the top, and again we're going to pin them or clip them or however, whatever we have to do to hold them together and hold them in place. And again, you want everything to be smooth. It may not be perfect, but perfect as we can get it. So we want the edges all to come together, and we want them smooth. Okay? And now we're going to just pin all of these together and go across so that they're smooth. And smooth. All right. And go to the end and make sure everybody's together. Okay? And so this is what we have now. All right. So now we're going to use our zipper foot and sew this together right here. Okay, so we're ready to sew. I have my zipper foot in. I'm going to put down the presser foot or zipper foot, and we're gonna go. And we're gonna go backwards, and we're gonna go forward. And just keep everything edged up. All of our layers are together now, and this is the stitch that we just sewed. And what is always exciting to me is when you kind of start folding things back, and so there you can see the pouch coming, and here is the zipper. Let me cut some of these strings out of the way so the zipper doesn't get caught on the strings. But okay, so you can see the pouches coming together. And here's the front part of the pouch. And we can also see, when we do like that, we can see our lining. Now, what I always like to do is with a warm iron, not too hot, but a warm iron. I like to just kind of go in and press these down just a little bit. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just try to put the zipper still closed and everything. I don't want the iron too hot because it is a nylon zipper, but I just want to just kind of let it know that we want it to I don't want to stay there too long because I don't want my zipper to melt, but I do want to kind of press just along here so that, and then I'm going to press just along here just to get it, just to let it know we want it to, just a little. Okay. All right. Okay, looking good. Okay, now the next thing we want to do, before we go a step further, we want to open this zipper. It is going to be crucial to have this zipper partway open in order to turn it and get our lining. So the one thing we don't want to do is start sewing up the edges and our lining with the zipper closed, or we're just not gonna it's not gonna do well. So we want to put about a halfway like that, and then what we want to do is we're going to take the outer layers. Now remember, the outer is also includes the batting. Going to take the outer layers and we're going to put them together, and we're going to put the lining layers together over here. So we're going to take the outer layers and put them together. So we have outer and outer, and now we have lining and lining. Okay, so this is where we are right now. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we make sure you have that zipper open though. Open that zipper. And now that we have that zipper opened, we are going to, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to sew all around this perimeter here, all around this rectangle. We're going to sew, except make sure the zipper is open, not all the way, but at least up until halfway. And you're going to make sure that there is an opening so much that we're not going to sew, because we're going to need to get into that opening. Now again, I'm going to use the clips to hold this, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use pins to remind me where not to sew. So I'm going to use pin, and then you probably want to come 2 or 3 inches, and you want to put a pin, not around the edge, but a pin to remind you that this is the area you don't want to sew in. Okay, so what you're going to have is something that looks like that. And so what you want to remember is between the pins that are going this way, you don't want to sew that up. You want to leave that open. Okay. So 2 things to leave open. You want to leave open about 2 or 3 inches at the bottom in the lining part, not the outer part, but the lining part. You want to leave 2 or 3 inches there, okay? And you want to make sure that you have the zipper opened at least up until halfway. You don't have to go past halfway, but at least up until halfway. Okay, and now we're going to put it down. We have this rectangle here. And now we're going to start with the part that has the zipper open. We're going the way it should go. All right, so now, okay, so now we got our zipper pinned. All right, so now we're going to go all around. And the way we have this zipper going here, we're going to take this zipper and make sure that it's going the same way, so that the zipper isn't twisted. So over here we have these teeth going together here. So on the other end, you want to make sure the teeth are going together, and we're going to pin that so that it's facing, or you can even do like this to make sure that they stay where they're supposed to be. All right, now we're going to pin around the whole perimeter, skipping that section that we need to leave open. Okay. All right, so however you want to do it, wherever you want to start, because we are going to sew around this whole rectangle. And so we're going to put pins to guide us and to hold it in place for us. And we want to just pull the edges together and make sure the edges are together and kind of as even as possible. Like I say, it may not be perfect, but we want it to be as perfect as we can be. Okay, so we're going to go around here with the edges, and again, try to line up the corners as best you can. And we're going to just go all around and try to keep the corners together if you can. And okay, and then the sides, try to keep them together as best you can, as perfect as you can get it. That's how we want it to be. And so just make sure that you've gotten all the layers and you're lining them up as best you can. And so, and then you're going to do the same on the lining part. You want the edges to be as perfect as you can get them. And here you go. And so remember, we're going to skip that. We want to leave an opening there. And so we're going to put these pins okay. I think I'll put one right there just because. All right, now let me put a pin there just because too. So okay, so your project should look like this. And what we're going to do is we're going to make about a half inch in stitch around the perimeter of this. So this is what it looks like. It's just we're going to go around this whole perimeter of the rectangle. I have changed back to my regular sewing foot. I took the zipper foot off. I'm going to just start sewing. I'm going to start here on the edge of where the part that we don't want to close. So I'm going to start here, and we're just going to go around about a half inch in, 5/8 inch in, whatever is comfortable. I'm going to just kind of hug the edge with my foot right here. And so I'm going to go. We're going to sew. And we're going to move the pins as we go. And when we get to a corner, we're going to leave and turn. Let me go a few more stitches. Okay, that's about it. All right, so now I'm going to go one more stitch. I want my corners. Okay, one more. All right, now I'm going to turn because I want my foot to hug the edge. Okay, so now I'm going to go Alright, so we're going to be getting up to that zipper soon. And so it's nylon. It should go right through it. Just slow down and let your machine do its thing. Make sure the pins are out and the teeth are kind of together. And the machine, just slow it down. But the machine should be okay going up over that. Yeah, alright, so there you go. And now just move the pins and just, I'm going to keep hugging the edge with the outside of my presser foot. That's like my guide. And, okay, this doesn't look so even to me, so I'm going to actually take this and even it up. I don't know. Okay. Alright, so let's go with that. And let's see if this is it. I want a few more stitches. I think right there is good. Alright, we're going to hug. I'm going to get those pins out of the way. Everything smooth. We're just going around that whole perimeter. Let's move this out of the way. Oh, stuck myself with a pen. Alright, and now let's see. I want to go one more stitch. Okay, now I want to turn it. Okay, and now pin out, pin out, and now you're about to come up on the other end of the zipper, so slow it down. Watch out for the pins. The zipper should be good. Just slow it down. Take the pins out. But you're going to be okay going over the zipper. Just go slow. And now we're back. Alright. Alright. We're going to go down to this corner and turn. Let's see. Let me see if this is one. I want to make one more stitch. One more. Okay. Now I want to turn. Alright, now we're just going to go up to here. To that pin, but we're going to remember we don't want to go past that pin because we don't want to close this all the way. So we're going to just come up here, and now we're going to go backwards. Now we're going to go forward, and now we're done. All right, we have sewn this. Okay, this is it. This is our pouch. Okay, a few things. What we're going to do, we're going to take our scissors, and one of the things that I like to do is I like to just cut off, don't get too close to the stitch, just cut off the little tip right here. And we're just going to cut off this little tip right here. Don't get too close to the stitch. I'm going to just even this up a little bit right here. Don't get too close to the stitch, but I'm going to just even that up and take off some of that extra fabric right there. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut the zipper. I'm going to cut this end. And like I said, for a nylon zipper, it should cut pretty easy. And we're going to cut the other end. All right. And now we're going to do the same thing. Don't get too close to the stitches. Just cut the tip. Not too close to the stitches, but just go ahead and cut the tip. And if you want to even up anything, or you see something where the fabric may look too bulky, just go ahead and trim it down a little bit, but not too close to the stitch. But just enough to, if you see something that looks bulky, just take it out. Okay, I'm going to go over here and even this side up a little bit. You know what? Now let me go ahead and even this up a little bit. Not too close to the stitch. Okay. All right. Now, what I like to do is, before I start turning anything, I like to just take the iron and hit it. Okay, so I'm going to take the iron. Okay, this is our pouch. Okay, so I'm going to take the iron and just that. And we're going to go over here. We're going to do that. Go over here. Do that. And over here. Do that. Okay, this is the big reveal. It's time now. It is time. Okay, so that little opening that we had that we didn't sew, but those 2 or 3 inches that we didn't sew. Okay, we're going to take our fingers, and what we're going to do is we're going to pull everything. We're going to go in here and get the out, we're going to go in through that zipper. Remember, we needed to leave that zipper open. So we're going to go in. First, we're going to go in this little pouch right here, this little opening here. And then we're going to find where the zipper is left open. And we're going to go get the outside. We want to go get the outside of the pouch and pull it through. So here's what we have. We have this. All right, remember we left that little opening. So we're going to go into the opening, but we're not just going to pull. We want to go and pull, find where the zipper is open, and we're going to pull the whole thing through. So we're going to pull the outside of our pouch. We're going to pull it through as if it's being born. It's like a little chick coming out of an egg. We're going to pull everything through. We're pulling it all through. And there's our lining. And now we want to get our outside of the pouch out. Oh, look, it's like it's a little baby chick being born. And there it is. Here it comes. There is our pouch. And so now you can go ahead and unzip the rest of the way. Oh, and now our pouch is born. Oh, it's so cute. And so this is our pouch. So we have our pouch over here, and we have the lining. Before we push the lining in, what we want to do is go in and kind of push those corners out with our fingers while we have access to them. And so basically we're just going to, now there is a tool that does something like this, but you can do it with your fingers. And that's why we wanted to cut away some of the fabric on the corners so it wouldn't be so bulky looking. And we're going to go to the other side, and we're going to do the same thing in the corners of our outer pouch. And then we're going to just, oh, it looks so cute. And now we have, and then we're going to do the same thing for our lining. We're just going to pull the corners out, although we are going to be pushing them back in a minute, but right now just get those corners looking good. Although these are going to be on the inside, and we're going to, in just a little while, be pushing them to go the other way, but right now we're good. Okay, so what we're going to do now is, again, we're going to take the iron, and I'm not so worried about ironing this part right now, but we want to iron this part because we have this opening here. And so one of the things that'll help us to close that evenly, or it helps me when I want to close that part evenly, is I take that iron and I just iron that down so that it kind of gets the idea of what it is that I want it to do. And okay, looking good, looking good. Okay. All right. And now this part right here, while we have it, let's just put an iron on it while we have it without the lining. Just touch it. Just touch it. Okay. All right. So now you can either do it by hand or machine. If you want to do the hidden stitches, you can go ahead and do it by hand. And that is, we need to now sew this, close this up. If you do it, if you want it to be, doing it by hand is really good because you can almost hide the stitches, but it's going to be a lining inside the pouch. So for time's sake, I'm going to go ahead and just sew it up on my machine real fast, okay? But hand sewing it does give it a more of a hidden look. Okay, so I'm going to get my machine. One more time. This will be the last time for my machine. Okay, so we're about to sew up that little opening that we needed in order to turn the pouch. So I'm going to just go ahead and sew this really quickly. Now my thread though is, I have a, I'm going to go ahead and try it anyway, but my thread is, doesn't necessarily match. Okay, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and sew it on the machine for time's sake, but in the, it is going to give you a better look if you, well, it would give me a better look if I took time to change my thread to pink. But I'm going to go ahead and sew it with this thread that I have in here. And so, you just very close to the edge, you're just going to go sew that little pocket up. Now this is going to be on the inside, so it's not going to be a real eyesore, but so here is our pouch, and I think I'm going to, I don't know, it doesn't look so bad. I may go back and just take that out and hand sew it, but that is what we do. We have no more openings in our pouch, and so now it is time to put the lining inside, and we're going to just kind of match up the corners of the lining with the corners of the pouch with our fingers, and the same on the other side. You're going to find that corner of the lining and just kind of line it up with the corner of the outer pouch. And we have our nice lining now. We can smooth it out as best we can. And then, pretty much, we have our lining. We have a pouch. So there is our pouch. It feels good because of the batting. And we have the zipper. And we have a contrasting lining, and I really like the purple zipper. And so one of the things that I like to do is I like to put little pieces of ribbon there. But I think the video is long, so I'm going to stop here and I will do a video about embellishing the pouches. I hope that helped. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Yeah, that's our pouch.